Hola.
Hi guys! So we're doing the Q&A today and Rachel couldn't make it, but we have sexy, super knowledgeable James here
Not as pretty as Rachel.
to answer all your questions. So we're gonna go through them really quick. I have about 10 or 11 ready for us to go through.
Okay.
And we're gonna just...
Rapid fire. Let's go.
First one, does water in tea, coffee, almond milk, fruit, veg not count towards the water? The nutritionist on the radio would say it does, or is it a specific water only target? I know I'd only be able to fit in 1.5 liters of pure water after this challenge is over.
Okay. Yes, it does count towards your hydration, but I would say, like, if you're focusing on hydration and you know it's a problem, like you're like, I can only have 1.5 liters in a day, which is really actually not a lot. I'd say, like, yeah, it does count, and that's great. So try and bring it in, but maybe just also look at. Don't say like that's just, I can just have that amount. That's all, and that's the end of the day. Because you could have, like, in the morning, just sip a pint of water rather than your, like, or with your coffee, but have a pint of water first. And already then you're 500 milliliters. And let's just say you just made a point of doing that again, or while you're training. Like, it's so easy to have a pint of water while you're training, and then there's only a pint left in the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I'd say, again, we're just encouraging habits and stuff, but so I would say try and fix the habit by taking one little step, like in the morning, early in the day. But that's one thing to do. But to answer your question, yes, like in a protein shake, in a green drink, in a coffee,
Still works.
Caffeine can be a little dehydration, but it's
yeah.
not a biggie. But it does go towards your hydration, so yes.
Also keep in mind that water is calorie free, and coffee, juices and stuff like that, they do contain calories, and you're drinking your calories, you're not eating them. So keep that in mind. Okay, moving on. Good options for extra protein. They are real and not protein substitutes.
Okay, yeah.
Options.
So when we do these, protein's a big thing that people try and get in. So there's a lot of stuff in the group and all about, protein yogurts, things like that, protein shakes, which again, it is real. Like, a whey protein is a pretty, it's just like little Miss Muffet.
Real option.
Sat on a tuffet with her curds and whey, but it's I know what you're saying. So it's not a very sexy answer, but again, let's be straight with it. It's a bit like the water one. If your protein is low, you just have to make an effort. So I would say front load the day, pre-plan. A lot of people are used to eating food that's just generally is carbohydrate based. It's a real common thing over the years. You just see what your food list, and your breakfast would be
toast, porridge, banana,
cereal, banana, orange juice, and it's just carbohydrates. And then that could be like and then I had a soup with a ham sandwich, toasty or something. It's just carbohydrate. So it's switching it. So let's say, what about if in the morning if your protein's an issue and that's what you're focused on, prioritize it. So, like the glass of water, have some protein in your breakfast, have some eggs, have some salmon, and then when you're going for your second meal, like, instead of the soup and sandwich, you would say, I'm focused on the protein, so I'm going to have a chicken salad, I'm going to have that stir fry or
whatever.
So it's just making decisions, but what I would say is try front load, plan ahead, like the water. Also, a really good thing to do is with the MyFitnessPal, if you're tracking, is plan your day.
Love that.
I like so much different, rather than sometimes I wouldn't, and it'd be the end of the day and I'd be like,
plan the protein first thing in the morning. I'm gonna have this and this. Okay, that's full, and then work around.
And it's super, like things like turkey burgers and all, like, they're real food. It's like a turkey mince lean. Super easy to get at.
Steak, tuna with salad, eggs. I love eggs, but
so that's it. Again, not sexy, but just, I'd say, plan and work on just having a decent portion. But front load the day would be a good one.
Cool. We're moving on. I'm eating considerably less, but didn't lose a gram. I know it is supposed to happen because muscle is heavier than fat, but when is that going to change direction?
Okay. So
it's coming from a person that has been doing 1,300 calories for the first week, and she's only started in the gym, I'd say, about 2 weeks ago, but I don't know her history, if she's been training with weights or not.
Okay, fine. Well, you're not. First of all, even if you're new, you're not going to gain significant muscle. It doesn't come that easy.
No,
it is true over time. You will, like, muscle is heavier than fat.
Yeah.
But again, I'd say with this, it's really common at the start of a challenge. I'd say just give it time. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will always, your metabolism is not broke or anything. It will come. It's just having patience. Also, what I would do, like, and this is, by the way, this is everybody. Pretty much everybody underestimates their calories.
That's so true.
There were studies done on a group of nutritionists who tracked their food, and they really, were actually, and in the control study, they underestimated by 30%. It's that big. you know. So
Yeah, just remember to track your oils, your dressings, your coffees, lattes, cappuccinos.
yeah. So there's normally
Some of
there's a learning curve in that phase, and you know, you might just forget the weekend or something, and then that can really bring your average up. So most people at the start, it's learning a new skill of using the tool of exploring what's in all your food and how to track it and all. So don't put pressure on yourself. Another study that was done was on people without any targets or calorie targets, and they just had to track the food, and they all lost weight because they were just conscious of what they ate, which is so, you can easily believe that as well. So have patience, it will happen, and continue to learn.
Just be consistent.
Continue
You're
to
doing
learn
all the right things.
the skill of what is in food. Look, it's a learning thing, and it will consistency is key.
100%. Yeah, love that. Okay, I make sure I have protein with every meal, but struggle to hit my protein target. Don't like protein bars, prefer to consume natural protein like beans and eggs. I am pescatarian, so I don't eat chicken, which I know is a great source of protein. Any other recommendations that I can incorporate into a healthy diet? I already do protein smoothie in the morning. Thanks.
Well, it sounds like
you're doing everything
sounds pretty good to me.
on point.
That sounds pretty good. Like if you're having a protein smoothie, you're eating beans, eggs, and fish every day. Like
that's amazing.
It's a great
That's such
diet.
a great diet.
So all I would say, if you're not hitting your protein goal, one, just bump the amount up a bit. So if whatever piece of fish you're eating is 100 grams, have 130. If you're eating 2 eggs, have 3. I wouldn't say you'd be long about getting there. If whatever amount of protein you're having in the morning, put a tiny bit more in, you'll be there.
Also depending on your goals.
Yeah, like a lot of people are like, if their protein goal is like 120, like it's okay if you have 100.
Yeah, if you hit it 100, you're flying it. You're good.
So you're there, you know. So and even if that means it's not at 30, you know, it's okay if it's 25. Like your overall calories, if it's weight loss you're after, your overall calories will be the main driver.
Yeah.
And protein then is it's of second importance of what you address, and then carbs and fats fit in. So, but again, calories is the main player.
Yeah. Now this next question, a lot of you asked for this question, so I'm just gonna ask it once. Do you have a daily menu that gives a correct percentages of macros? Let's say 1800 calories.
And no, we could. No, we could do it. Again,
there's a few of you asking about.
I'm not too smart for that, but I'll tell you there is really good reason why, and it would seem like you would imagine it's super easy. We just give you here, do this, and like geez, we like in all the years we've been doing this, we have done that in the past. But what that does, right? It doesn't teach you anything. So also it's completely unsustainable. So what we're trying to do here is very holistically get you to learn the tools. And initially, I suppose that seems a little bit harder, but it's like everything, you know what I mean? It'd be like anything that's worthwhile has the initial phase of being a tiny bit harder for, you know,
so much easier.
Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Exactly.
Rather than short-term gain. Here's your diet meal plan. Learn nothing and don't stick with it. Because a diet plan, right? So let's say we do give you a diet plan Monday to Friday. Well, if it was one day, I would not want to eat the same food every day.
No.
You'd be sick of it.
No.
If it was 7 different days, you know, what
if you want to go out on a Friday?
If I was on the meal plan, you were like, you know, oh, I want to take you out for dinner, or I made you this lovely surprise dinner, and I'd be like, it's not on the meal plan.
Yeah. No.
Domestics would be kicking in quick.
Or also, like, you wouldn't want to eat what we eat.
Yeah, and the whole thing.
Or maybe you would.
The whole thing is you learn what's in it, and we want you to have some flexibility of like, you know, if you want to go out for a drink at the weekend, you're not off the plan. It's not a plan.
Yeah, so it's sustainable.
Yeah. So that's why we don't do it, because and when we did do it and we tried it, no one really stuck with it, and it's a bit restrictive, and we don't want it. This does not need to be restrictive. It's about learning what's in stuff, and it's only what week are we on?
Second week.
So I'm only on the second week.
I know.
Again, like I said at the start, 4 weeks is if you learn what's in stuff, like you'll have that forever, you know.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite breakfast ideas. Please, that isn't protein shakes or eggs. And this person has an intolerance to eggs. Have you heard of the Mediterranean breakfast?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Before suggestions, it's what you like. So this is why when you're tracking, so high protein breakfast was asked.
So breakfast ideas that isn't protein shakes.
Well,
or eggs. I would never recommend anyone has a protein shake for breakfast.
No, it's not filling.
Not at all.
Like protein in the green drink is slower digesting because of all the greens and veg, but just the protein drink on its own isn't very filling.
No.
It's good post-training because it's absorbed quick. But anyway, long story short, right? If you really struggle, say, with eating protein in the morning, this is just another idea. You don't have to eat protein. The goal is to eat protein with every meal.
Yes.
Right? But let's say I can't do it. You can have your protein quota later in the day.
Lunch, dinner, and maybe snacks.
This is all about
I
balancing
agree.
it around you. So if you really struggle with one part of it, you make it work for you.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like this is why we track, what do you like that's a protein food? So we already know it's all the like meats, fish, nuts, you know, you don't like eggs. So maybe it's like a Mediterranean, like you said, like it could be your
cold meat,
meats.
cheese, you know, like
Yeah,
vegetables, fresh
Like
salads.
you can have a high protein type of on toast, you know what I mean? It could be like
tuna,
sliced turkey, ham, like I'm getting hungry here.
Yeah, me
But-
too. Oh, stop.
But so it's again, there's no one simple answer. Again, there's the yogurts, there's high protein yogurts you could have with some cereal stuff, granola, but again, it's a little bit of effort in finding what works with you, and you're going to find more and more ideas. And then please share them in the group.
Yeah,
people are sharing loads of different
100%,
ideas.
100%. Next, MyFitnessPal allows more calories for exercise. Should I ignore these in the daily calorie count?
Yeah, so that's a real common question. So we always get that. Yeah, and there's good reason why. So when we started this off, we did the TDEE calculator. That was fitting in your total daily energy expenditure. So that is incorporating what you do for energy expenditure, i.e. training, i.e. steps. Most of us
accounted for all your activity.
Yeah, so most of us we're in the moderately active, you know. So once you have that dialed in, and what we're trying to teach again, this is the holistic habits. It's not something you go, I'm on a challenge, so I'm going to ramp things up to a crazy degree that I cannot maintain. So training, like my week is very standard. Like let's say I train 4 or 5 times a week weights, and I would hit about 10,000 steps a day. And I do like a bit of cardio once or twice a week. That's standard. You know what I mean?
Consistently there. That's always there. So when you track, you just track your calories coming in, and that's it.
And you know where you're at. Do you know what I mean? So I know where my numbers would be at. So we're trying to get them habits in. But if you start putting in, the other thing with calories, it's only a tool for measuring what goes in. If you start, you know, hedging it off, what can happen is, let's say you just had a bit of a loose night and you went 900 calories over. We don't want you take it and just go, okay, well maybe I'm just going to take a few 100 calories off for the next 5 days, and just, you know, maybe 150 here for the next 5 days, and you're going to be near enough balancing things out. Much more controlled than like going out and trying to run off the energy. Like then you get it bad. It's like a punishment exercise, which is, you know, an unhealthy relationship
with exercise and with food.
Yeah, because we're trying to break habits. It's not like I overate, so therefore I'm going to run it off. And similarly, you don't want to run things to allow you to just overindulge.
And especially like if you had a mad night, you went way over your calories, you still have to eat the next day, and you still have to get on with your life, so you can't be punishing yourself.
Yeah, but generally,
or going too low.
MyFitnessPal just for tracking what goes in.
Okay, are zero alcohol drinks lower in calories than regular drinks?
Than regular alcoholic drinks?
Yes,
just because they don't have the alcohol. So they are calorific. So just because they're no alcohol, don't think they're no calories. Because, like, just say a beer, for example, is a lot of carbohydrates and a little bit of alcohol, and there's like 7 calories per gram of alcohol, but there's not a lot of necessarily alcohol in one beer. So you just take out the alcohol. There's still a lot of, like, there's probably, like, say there's 200 calories in a normal beer. You're probably getting 160,
probably
something like that, 150.
With a no alcohol pint of beer.
It's no alcohol, but it's not no calories, unfortunately. So just scan them and check, see what your favorite one is.
Does it matter what time you eat, or is it just total calories and protein?
Yeah, unless you're like a super high level athlete or bodybuilder, where like nutrition partition really makes an issue.
Together with this question, I'm also gonna. One of the members asked, "What is our opinion about intermittent fasting?"
Again,
so the timing of the meals and intermittent fasting.
So which takes some pressure off. The most important factor is like that your calorie intake over really a weekly period. That's kind of how little it matters. Like, so in a daytime, the old myths of you shouldn't eat after 6 o'clock or it'll go straight to your hips. Like, I mean, if you don't eat anything all day and you eat very little
on the lips
at past 6, you know what I mean? But no, it doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter. So what works for you? Some people find like they don't like eating in the morning and it really works for them, and then let's say they don't eat till 10 o'clock, they feel good, they feel mentally sharp. I'd feel mentally like I'm going to faint if I didn't eat in the morning, but some people feel good with that. So if it works for you, it works for you. A lot of what intermittent fasting works for. Like there's other sort of benefits, but like for fat loss, it's just a big chunk of the day where you don't eat, therefore you're probably going to have less calories. If you didn't eat for a huge chunk of the day, and let's say your calorie quota was 2,000 and you had 2,500 in just the one window, you'd still gain weight.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
It's a
calories.
personal preference.
But it's if it works for you. But if you're white knuckling it through, waiting till you can eat, and then you want to just eat everything in the fridge, that's not working for you. It's going to just create cravings.
True.
So if it's a tool that works for you, use it. You do not have to use it, and there is no magic in it. You know, very unsexy some of these answers, but like
I know, but it is what it is, and I hope that some of these answers helped you guys. And if you have any other questions, pop them into the group. I know the weekend is coming, so hopefully this is gonna give you a little bit of motivation to stay on track over the weekend. And that's
Keep doing it.
Keep
and remember,
doing it.
you're doing great, and it's only 2 weeks in, learning process. So just keep doubling down on the learning. Sharing in the group is brilliant. And remember, like it's kind of refreshing that none of this. It's not sexy stuff. This is the real stuff that works, and you're in the middle of learning it all now. But once you do learn it, you're gonna have.
It's gonna be easier.
You won't have to ever fall into one of those crazy diets again that you think, oh, I have to do this mad thing or this detox diet or something.
Yeah.
It's actually just real normal stuff, you know, that works. Not sexy, but
it works,
normal.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, have a great weekend, guys.
See you later. Bye bye.